So, welcome everyone to my video. What is it? 6 or 7? Sorry, I forgot which one exactly. I believe it's video number 6. And so far I've been continuing to face a lot of doubt and lack of belief that something what I'm doing is going to bring me where I want to be. And I do have a lot of voices in my head which tell me that probably what I'm doing is not going to work out, and it is a little devastating to hear them all the time. So I try different ways of communicating to myself, of finding different formats and ideas, and in general thinking on how I can make it work, and what is it that I want to be doing, because it's not an easy process, and it's also not what's even harder than just filming daily is understanding what exactly is your field, something what interests you most. And at least for me, that's the hardest thing. Also, I think it's great when you articulate, so I'll try to be a bit more articulating with my hands, in general with my body language. And I'll also will be trying to control me looking at the camera while I'm talking, because I can a lot of times just be very distracted and start speaking abstractly to myself by looking somewhere else, like on the wall or wherever. So now I'll try my best to focus on the camera specifically. There's a long path I need to go for me to become great at it. And I'm also thinking, what is it that I'm trying to achieve on the long run? And a little quieter, please. Thank you. So I do want to tell you a story of how, in this video, I want to tell you how I came to making daily videos, and in general, what has it been for me since I started my path and how it started. So it all starts, of course, as for every person in the childhood, when we're being born, and then grown up by the parents, and then you go to school, and you finish school, and then you go to university. You finish the university, you have the bachelor degree, and then it's the decision whether you want to take a master degree or you don't. And then, based on that decision, you proceed with living your life. So, the way it was for me, I finished my school when I was 17 years old, and then I went to study abroad. So, I was studying in Switzerland since 2021 until 2020. I think even, yes, 2024 was my last semester, and then until 2025 I still was there for working purposes. So then at the age of 17 I came to Switzerland, and I started my path there, and then since then, for what was it, 9 months, I remember the first 3 terms went by, and then I had to go for an internship, and because I was not really making any choices back then, I went for doing my internship in Qatar, which is Middle East, not very far from where I am now, but speaking the religion-wise and develop-wise, people-wise, it's very far from Dubai. Dubai is much more developed in all of these aspects. So I was there in Qatar by myself at the age of 18, and it was not the easiest time in my life, definitely. I remember when I just came there, the first 2 days were the most difficult ones. I was barely accepting the new reality I'm in. It was kind of like a cold shower taken in life. I had a girlfriend back then, and also I'd love to play games, like mobile games. So I was a basic, like a not normal, like an average um, dude who is not really into any kind of development, self-development, just going whenever like life takes me. I did not make any decisions by myself. I was not in control. And then since then everything changed, because I remember the first month what happened is I broke up with my girlfriend, and then I stayed by myself in Qatar, figuring out my next steps. First, what I did, I had a lot of free time after the work, so I would just play games and spend my time in this high dopamine world. But what helped me later on is just a random video on YouTube where I saw one guy speaks about dopamine and what dopamine is. Also, I had a book on my table which I never read, and then after watching that video, something in me whispered that I want to be greater than I was. So I started my kind of path then back in that small room with my neighbor. And after watching that video about dopamine, it became so interesting to me. So I started learning more and more about it, and also learning more about the psychology of relationship. That was the time when I was watching one psychologist who was kind of explaining different aspects of relationship, which helped me back then to, in general, appreciate psychology, understand that there is something more to psychology than just understanding how humans behave. So later, after watching that video about dopamine, I realized, what is this? Something like, what's the reason behind me playing daily in my mobile? I had an iPad, I was playing on my iPad actually, and I just deleted all the games. That's actually, if reflecting back on our conversation previously about bad habits, then this is actually the first time when I had to be very strict with myself and direct. So instead of doing some kind of low, by the way, I'm not okay. Let me just quickly check that it's moving. Yep, looks good. 9 minutes so far. That's okay. So bad habits. So I was able to, by the way, also great advice I've heard is to hold something in your hands while you're speaking. For example, a pen or a cup of tea or something, because that's makes you that makes you look more charismatic, more confident in what you're talking, and also it gives you something to distract yourself with while speaking, and maybe even being able to build better sentences in the end eventually. I feel like these conversations do indeed help me to be able to speak better, in general also prepare me for future conversations with some other people. Whenever it's going to be something where I have to speak on camera, I'm able to hold myself in the right mind condition where I'm able to discuss ideas, listen, and also be aware of the camera, of the way I should be sitting, of the way I should be articulating, of my body language, where I should be looking, the tone of voice, the pauses I make, and of course, the idea itself. What is it that I'm speaking about? What is it that I want to develop, like in this particular dialogue? Mm, and also trying my best to speak clearly. Um, that is something I believe I have a lot to work on. Is in general my language, my voice. I don't think it's as good as it could be. My diction, yes, that's the one. So yeah, I have some work to do about that. Um, but let's go back to the topic of habits and of my path. So yes, I had to basically. I also the words like basically, actually, technically. I don't think that it sounds that good when you say them. So I believe instead maybe it's better to avoid saying them. Anyway, back to the topic. So I stopped myself from playing games. I deleted all of them from my iPod. And then the next evening, I didn't have anything to do. So I remember I had to do something. And of course, because I had a free evening, I got bored, and that was the time when I noticed a book on my table, which actually is my book, but I never read it. And I kind of had this belief. Also, I don't know why and how this belief came into my mind. That it is something beneficial. But yeah, for some reason, I knew that books can help you understand yourself better in general, but there is knowledge in books because for like you need to understand. I was a person who was not able to take any decisions by myself. I was mostly just existing and even doing some stupid stuff, like really stupid actions, decisions, procrastinating. And it was very not adult like, not growth minded like. So had to change a lot back then. And yeah, I started reading that book. I started watching more videos about psychological um, aspects of life in general, of relationship, and it helped me to understand a lot of things and to be able to grow in some parts of them. And that was the time when I took everything I got, what I had, and started developing myself, at least trying to move in that direction. So I remember I started running around the park. It was very hot. Um, It was at night after I finished my shift, and yet it was the time when I had to push myself to the limit, and then more than just my limit. I would be running, I would be doing push-ups, doing pull-ups, etc. And trying to also have a diet so I can grow my muscles, my body. And it helped me to a certain extent. Then I came back to Switzerland. I had another terms of studying, and when I went to Saint Petersburg, that was the time when, okay, yeah, I think I'm losing the audience here. It's such a long story that being able to tell this story in full detail, in full color, with the right emotion which I had back then, is actually quite difficult. And I don't think is that, like, it's a very long story. It's really very difficult for me to say exactly what happened, so maybe I can just use general descriptions to kind of go faster about it. And also, I don't. Oh, yes, we did actually. What is it? 33 minutes left. Yeah, good, because I thought that I didn't actually start that. But yes, like, you don't need to know all of these technicalities. Like, I a lot of times while doing it, I think to myself that, hey, it's normal. It's something that is supposed to happen during these videos because I'm not professional, etc. However, I don't think that's the right mindset to have when making videos. I should think more professional wise. I should think about me not being distracted into several different topics. I should be aware of my surroundings and making sure that the sound is alright, that the video is filming, which should. So taking more control and responsibility as a lesson when making videos. So let me describe in short what happened next. I had some, if put like as an agenda, then the most life-changing situations for me were first when I was in Qatar. That was first one. Second, well, I came back to St. Petersburg because that was the time when I, instead of parting with all my school friends, I got into a community of people who are developing, making their own projects, businesses, and it just opened my mind in more entrepreneurial side of things of life. So I was so excited about it. I loved it, and I wanted to develop something by myself. Even I found a partner, like a friend of mine, who suggested to become his partner in something. So that's what we were doing. CG Nova, that was the name of it. Cool name actually, CG Nova. Like really, it sounds nice. Like I wish we developed it more. So yeah, we even had a cool logo. Actually, like, everything was cool about it. It's just us not being able to sell it. That was the word, like the most difficult part is to actually find clients and to bring in money. Like my partner, he was doing a lot of theory behind it, all that not necessary actually work if you look at it. And what we actually needed was selling. We really needed to sell more. And we met a partner who understood it very well. He knew that that's what we need. But instead, like he could have opened our eyes a bit more regarding it. And then also I didn't know as much that that's what I'm supposed to do. And I think if you put yourself a task to sell, then you'll be able to actually accomplish it at some point. You'll probably need to face a ton of rejections at first before someone goes for it and sort of buys your product, something that you're selling, which doesn't sound that difficult if you have a good team of people who's working for you. So if keep going and keep analyzing, then the great part after me being in Saint Petersburg and like in my hometown and coming back to Switzerland and continuing my studies there, I then went for internships, and that was the time when I organized with my friend Oleg a business club. And in general, it was the last term of my education, so it was the most the most productive one. I was doing so many different things, like doing a workshop, opening the business club, also being like on a sports day, playing in a volleyball team, and having the Sigenova to be developed, trying to learn French. There was so many different things I was trying to do and accomplish, and it felt really cool. I felt really proud of myself back then, but then it didn't last for long. As soon as education stopped, I kind of grounded again, and many things stopped, and I didn't do as much anymore. There was also Neutrino. That's a project of a very cool entrepreneur who is living in Switzerland, speaking French, a little bit of Russian, surprisingly, and was able to create his own table game, which helps people to learn more about nutrology. So that was a fun product, something that could work if I paid enough time and attention to it. Maybe it would actually go somewhere. But then I don't know where I would be now. And this is where the path brought me, and from now on I need to make sure that I don't miss any opportunity, and I keep on doing and working, and keeping myself ready. So back then that was the moment, and then after that I worked in the hotel. I worked in another hotel as a marketing trainee, And as soon as I finished working as a marketing trainee, I was able to later on. I had to go back to Russia. I had a big thing actually happen to me. I lost a lot of money, and that's, I would say, fourth moment in my life where I was like, where I learned a big lesson, and a moment where I grew a lot. Yeah, that was extraordinary lesson. It's been a year now since it happened, a year ago, and yet I remember this time a year ago I was still. I don't think it's yet happened. I think it still didn't happen yet, but it would happen in like 20, 30 days. Yeah, that's when it all started. So kind of crazy to think that it's been more than a year now. Not, well, it's getting closer to a year since that situation, because that was a lot of stress. That was a lot of stress. I lost a lot of money. I lost money, not only my money, but also money of my friends. Also, what happened is I didn't have any finances for myself. I remember I would count every single franc I got in order for me to move forward, survive, and I'm so surprised how I was able to hold that resilience in myself, to be able to speak to everyone who I took money from and explain them what happened and find a way to get money back. A big lesson learned, but many more lessons could be still taken out of that situation. For example, I'm thinking of all the friends who I was speaking to and how I was asking them for money because I believed that it's a good investment, and in the end I lost everything, but my persuasion skills were pretty good considering that I was able to get some money from people. I believe because my reputation was good enough of the person who is doing what he says he will, and I kind of shaked that pretty hard, and unfortunately, well, again, it's everyone who I had weak relationship with, they fall off, and the people have better relationship with the state. So that's good. So it's now getting to already the last 30th minute of the video, I believe, and I still have 20 minutes more to go. I'd say that this idea of making 50 minutes daily is pretty difficult, and also not as effective and productive, because it is very long and so many people don't want to watch this happening for 50 minutes straight daily. It's good for me to just have it as videos on my YouTube channel, but at the same time I feel like there are better things, but unless I find something better than this, I won't be switching from one to another, and I'll continue doing this because I don't have anything to replace it with. To finish my story before thinking of replacement, after losing a big amount of money, especially for me back then, that was 10 times more than I could return myself, and I'm still paying debts for that. I'm still in debt to several people, and it sucks. It's part of it. So very grateful again to those people who are very calmly just accepted the situation, accept that this is what happened, and it just didn't turn away from me. Even though I lost their money and I put them in a very difficult situation in life. So that's terrible. So I learned a lot, and it was a huge lesson for me from the responsibilities perspective, from how other people can influence your life perspective, from how important it is to make good contracts in case there is something like this which you are unsure about. Then you need all the possible papers and documents to support what is happening and your position, to secure your position, so you are secure from all the sides. I had a lesson also learned for me that all those big percentages of money that I tell you will get back is fairy tales, and even if it goes to court, you will still get no compensation, and probably all the commission which was promised to you by the person who you gave the money to, all those commissions will not be calculated because court works in both favors for two people. Kind of hungry. I wish I had something quick to eat. Just something. I have something like that, but it will still take me at least 20 minutes to cook it and then eat it. So I don't have that time. It's already super late. Need to be in bed. So yeah, only question. The other lessons I can take from here is relationship with people. Anyway, that's, today it's a lot about the past, and I had a lot of videos previously made a lot about the future and the present, so it kind of compensates it. I'd say that, as my dad says, for example, it's much more important to look forward than back, because what is about to happen in our lives are depending on your actions today and on what's going to happen. So that is more important. So don't lose yourself in giving out all those debts and stuff. You need also to have a life, and you need to be able to develop things on the side as well. Keep moving forward, conquer, and become great in something. So that is something what I want to also talk about today is what are those things that I can become great at. I thought throughout it today also with ChatGPT, and I've been able to find some different ideas. For example, I could be doing, let me just quickly see how charged my earphones are, because this is important. Seems that my case is very badly charged. Okay, then I'll have to charge my earphones right now. Sorry for this mess. What a nice yum. Then, so, yeah. Okay, definitely I want to become great in sports, one thing. Secondly, I want to become great in sales. And so far I'm doing good already with my current job. That's also the goal. So I'll definitely focus on reading more books about it and trying to develop in this field, sales field. And then maybe I could actually talk more about it and learn more about it and use it as, yes, oh my god, I have great ideas. That's cool. For example, what I just thought about is I can reach out to all those startups and companies which need people to just reach out and sell shit. And I would work on commission, some kind of commission based structure. Yeah, that could be really good. So I'll try to think of that. I'm looking for my notebook. I'm going to write this idea down. Get your ass here. Copy ball. And the video can be selling stuff. So video sell pants. Sell some shit. Sell shit. I can call it selling shit. And then I will record my videos of me just selling stuff. Yeah, why not? I think it's cool. And also I can grow a lot by doing it. And then I'll be able to sell anything to anyone. And then I'll be able to scale any business or any business idea that I can. Also, I think speaking more fast and clearly helps you in general to gain that extra confidence. And for other people to think that you are competent is for you to speak clearly and confidently. That brings confidence. And there was one more word for it, which at the moment I would not remember. So, okay. Yeah, definitely, that could be something. So I want to, again, as I said, developing my physical appearance in general, going to a gym, having a good body, and looking great, bigger. Second of all is developing in the sales. I have started a great path here, and I was able to progress in this. At the moment, I haven't still closed any deals, but it will come soon. And starting from after tomorrow, I'll do even more work in order for me to grow that side and just develop like the best I can in this perspective. Then third would be developing my social identity, social media identity. So either I will do it through like these short form videos plus longer videos on YouTube, which I need to think through and consider what exactly it can be after I finish this challenge. What are those videos which I'll be doing? Then I also need to consider what is it something that I'm going to do this week. And yeah, so there is this part of me that kind of questions again, like, what is the purpose of me doing social media? Is it me actually enjoying it, or am I just doing it because I think it's cool to do it? Now again, like here, I believe that I do enjoy doing it. Otherwise, if I didn't see myself doing it, like the purpose of doing it, if I didn't understand it, then there would be no point for me doing it. Like I wouldn't be spending as much time and effort. But I like it. That's why I have the time and the energy to do it, which is good. I'll just keep doing like this, short form videos, some longer videos about stuff, maybe my own general reflections. I can always have that as a safer one. And then trying to learn stuff, trying to do some interesting experiments. Yeah, I think that's cool. I love it. And apart from that, later on, when I will be more used to myself making videos, it will become kind of part of my identity. I'll get used to doing so, and I'll just keep growing, keep doing it until whenever I will then be able to tackle it easier and therefore have more time and strength and skill to do something else apart from it on the side. I don't need to always work on this only, and if I am able to develop it in a way that I can just keep it aside but still do it and perform good there, then I can also make it even more interesting by adding some more stuff to it. For example, trying to sell some interesting agencies, whatever, to people and suggest products. Doesn't matter, maybe I'll find some inefficiency in the market and they'll be able to because what is a startup? What is a business? A business is a structure of people who work under one for one main goal, with the reason with the goal for solving some kind of problem on the market. So it's always about solving a problem. And right now, I don't see as many problems to solve. I think I'm blind here because I'm not following up on it. I'm not following the latest technologies and definitely some kind of shit with robots is going to go crazy For example, you can think that, okay, if soon robots is going to be a thing, then what else will people need? They'll need electricity to charge those robots. We'll need explanations on how robot works. We will need security for those robots, so they couldn't be broken. Yeah, so you can just take, for example, one field and start thinking of that field, how it could be developed in several different directions. But that's not, for example, something what I'm interested in. I have different interests, and therefore I don't yet know exactly what is it that I can be doing. So podcasts could be a good idea. I appreciate good conversations. However, I think I also undervalue preparation. I can write it to myself as a note to not undervalue preparation and prepare when you need to prepare. Just spend enough time for preparation. So, what is it about me in the moment that I am doing great things, I am acting great, and I am consistent, but at the moment I still don't have financial credibility from the financial side? I think what happened here is the fact that the reality is taking a bit longer than expected, first of all. Second of all, I still have to pay for my mistakes done in the past. Third of all, I need to give it more time, and I need to be more open to opportunities, because I am doing great, I am staying consistent, I'm delivering regularly, and I'm going to a gym, I'm going to 9 to 5 for a sales position, which is good because I'm learning to sell, and in general about educational field in Dubai and Middle East. Then there is something else, which is me developing in social media direction and learning about that as well, also staying consistent here. So there's already 3 parts where I am staying consistent, and I think I need to take my sales job more seriously than I am now taking it, and pay more attention to it, pay more respect to it, try to work more, do my best to hit the targets and develop myself, definitely. Especially now it's the month of May, it's 1 month before summer. This is the month when a lot of people finishing education start doing exams and already thinking of education later on, so they start applying, and that's why for me I can do a lot of good sales, I believe, now. So I can do good things here. I can do greater things here. I just need to put enough time and effort for me to develop the right, like again, as I said, I'll keep doing videos daily, not from the say that if I get a result or I don't, but shut up. But because I want to be doing it, and I want to keep developing it, and I will, because it keeps my consistency more developed, better, growing, improving. So that is a proof for me to show later to other people. So thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate Ian, your time, and I wish you a great evening ahead. Have some rest, as we do, and become great.